Hi, film addicts. Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we have a special guest coming all the way from Australia, Adrian Crawford. Let's give a warm welcome to Adrian. He's a screenwriter, novelist, and actor, and we're so happy to have him on the show today. Adrian, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. Welcome, moguls, and let you know that I'm now a film addict and really looking forward to sharing a little of my journey with you.
Yeah, so Adrian, it's Australia there. So, what kind of weather do you have?
It's quite pleasant today. Our summers get very hot, 40 degrees plus. Can't think what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's pretty hot and dry. But today is a lovely day.
Great. Yeah. So Adrian is experiencing summer, and on the West Coast in California are in the middle of winter, but it's still summer day. But Adrian, you're a writer and you an actor. I was wondering what movie influenced you to go in that direction.
Particularly King Lear. I saw the great Shakespearean actor Paul Schofield in that film when I was only 17. And I thought to myself, if ever I was an actor, I would love to play King Lear. Well, I did get to play King Lear in a short film comedy, and it was one of the very few occasions when I almost didn't recognise myself.
Nice.
But it also led me to writing a screen adaptation of King Lear called The Cattle King.
Amazing.
Now, The Cattle King is set in 1889 in Australia, in the outback, which is harsh desert terrain. And he divides his kingdom amongst his three Aboriginal daughters by his wife, from descent from his wife. And only one of them knows of a dark family secret.
Ooh.
And it's all in modern English as well.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So that's brilliant because King Lear and Shakespeare, those are those are like the mastery in the arts to do those. So congratulations. And yeah, so what is your favorite Criterion Collection movie?
There are some great movies in Criterion that I recognise, particularly such films like Au revoir, mes enfants. I do speak French. And but also the one that sort of really stood out for me is Akira Kurosawa. It's a director who Martin Scorsese reckons as one of his great influences. And Akira, the director, directed this film called Dreams. It's a series of vignettes. And the one that really stood out for me was basically these three guys struggling through a snowstorm. And all you're hearing is the sound of the snow and their breathing. Now, if this was any other nationality, it would be lots of dialogue back and forward, with, how soon can we make it, blah, blah. Not in this. Just the snowstorm and then breathing, and you're hearing them struggling, fading.
That's a beautiful scene. Yeah. And I love how you pronounce it. Can you pronounce it one more time for our audience?
The Dream? It's called Dreams.
No, the director's name. I like how you say it.
Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah, he says it.
Brilliant Japanese director.
Yes, he's fantastic, and that's such a great film. And that scene is just breathtaking and poetry and just a master of his craft and just beautiful. And just sometimes, like as a writer, you can see that like the film and the music and that carries more weight than sometimes a lot of dialogue. So yeah, so yeah. And then you said in your late 20s you had an unfinished novel, sort of visual like that.
Yes. And this unfinished novel led me to filmmaking. Basically, just give you a scene from it. Imagine that you're in a big hall, but it's bigger than that. It's actually a exhibit in 3D with holographic figures walking around of the trial of King Charles I of England. The king who got executed.
Oh wow!
But the walls are actually also holographic. And you're standing there, but no, you're actually a child, and your father has just been presumably slain by this enemy who's chasing you. But you have the potential to turn up the density of the holographic figures, the characters from the 17th century walking around you. So you can make them dense, which means the enemy will barge into them and have to clamber through them. And you can escape through what looks purely like a continuation of the Westminster Hall, but is in fact a doorway that you can pull open, because the 3D images simply walking in and continue walking away. They become part of the wall 3D. And it was so visual. And I realized, my path was very much film. And it led me to studying writing and directing and eventually into acting.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. So then you studied directing. Who's your favorite director, and is there a favorite film shot that you love?
Well, one of my favourite directors is certainly Clint Eastwood, who is both a fantastic director, both very much a writer's, actor's director, but some of his films just have, a lot of his films just have such great humanity. I can think of particularly Letters from Iowa Jiwa, which really touched and moved me profoundly.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
And what about yourself?
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of the same film that you like. I'm Italian, and I gotta say, I like your Conformist by Bertolucci. And can you tell me your favorite film shot in there?
Yes. The film shot that really sticks out to me, and this is, I would have seen it when I was studying film for the first time back in 1990, so 6 years ago, was this shot, incredibly long shot of the camera being actually part of the action and sweeping through the leaves and up to this car. And I just thought, wow, what an incredible moment that was. It made the camera sort of absolutely part of the action.
Yes, that's stunningly breathtaking poetry, art in motion, and Bertolucci and the Conformist. That film, the Coen brothers say that that's their inspiration too for their filmmaking. So you picked a extremely master at his craft with Bertolucci. Just fantastic.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
Stunning visuals all the way through.
And just imagine they were the first people doing it back then. It was black and white and it was film, and they didn't have all the fancy stuff that they do now, like the special effects and all that digital stuff. So they really were truly masters of their craft with just basic film and picture and sound. So yeah. And something fun, like what is your favorite quote from a movie?
Sorry, say that again.
Your favorite quote from a movie?
Oh yes, quote, of course. Yes, I rather like life is a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I first saw the film, sometimes I think when people rave about a film, it sort of sets you up a set of expectations which you don't instantly engage. But since then, I've seen the movie many times since, and I really, really enjoy that movie. And it's a lovely, heartwarming, tender sort of movie, and I like that sort of movie. And I hope to aspire, bring humor and humanity to what I write.
Yeah, that's the Forrest Gump with Tom Hanks. And do you know in Savannah, Georgia, people go to that the bench, and I think the bench is gone now, but they were always looking for the bench to take pictures in Savannah, Georgia. So really cute.
Oh yeah, that'd be very right.
Yeah, but they're like, there's no bus stop here, and they're like, well, they used it for the movie and moved it back.
Yes.
So it's a funny thing about that. Yeah, and what about character? Your favorite character or actor?
When you asked me that, I thought Han Solo jumps to mind for some reason. I mean, I first saw Star Wars when I was in my early 20s. And of course, I've stayed a fan ever since. perhaps there's a little bit of, I don't know, Tintin and Captain Haddock, about character of Captain Haddock about Han Solo. That there's something about him. I think, yeah, great character name. What
Yeah.
about yourself?
Yeah, I like him too. Like you can't go wrong with anybody in Star Wars. Chewbacca, C-3PO, we love the Star Wars. It's just such a amazing movie and so fun. And of course, my friend who's a Star Wars fan, like he had asked me, like, okay, so what color are the lightsabers? And like I'm such a girl, I go pink. He goes, pink? He will not let me live that down. He's my director
Yeah,
friend. I give a little props to Ezekiel.
yeah,
Ezekiel, he's a director that I met in Spielberg's contest on the lot, and Ezekiel got picked, and he's been my friend ever since. But he won't let me live down the fact that I said the lightsaber was pink, and I go, and then now I have to study it till see what. So yeah, you can even get into some little like teeth details when you're talking about films with people, especially when they know more stuff about it than you, and you're like, okay,
that's
okay,
very
okay.
true.
So yeah, so this is a really fun fact about you, but I'll let you share with our audience this.
Yes, sure. I've gone from delivering babies to making custodial arrests. So,
Delivering 17 babies. Can you explain?
yeah. It was a 1 year course. It was a certificate course back then, and very much hands on. And yes, I was the only guy for for 4 months in my training. I was the only guy. And I always remember I used to say, I try and keep a low profile around here. I was saying this to one of the midwives. And she said, oh, don't know about that, Adrian. She said, you're about one of the most talked about people in mid at the moment.
And then so you deliver over 17 babies, and then what? Custodial arrest? What?
Yes. Well, I left nursing after over 30 years. I mean, I had many different smaller jobs over the years, anything from taxi driving, video editing, Reiki master, teaching English as a second language. And then I kind of took one step working with asylum seekers, and then took another step to work in the courts, which is what I'm doing now until retirement, which is not that far away.
Oh, well, brilliant. So, how did could you tell us a little bit about your writing and do you write comedy? Do you write any comedies?
Yes, I do write comedies. One, for example, is called Better Late Than Never. Um, you know, this one is it's a feature film script. And just to give you an example, snap frozen in Antarctica for 200 years, can charming First Fleet convict larrikin Jamie Bogner find love and freedom in time for Sydney's bicentenary celebrations? So we had a bicentenary in 1988 in Australia, 200 years of white settlement. And it's a real fish out of water story with somebody who's actually come from the 18th century, and of course, it's a bit like the Mayflower. You know, in Australia, if you're a descendant of a convict, particularly a First Fleet convict or prisoner of Her Majesty, you're you're very proud of the fact. But this is somebody who actually knows these people firsthand, and what he might tell these very proud and very rich people may be a little bit shocking.
That's hysterical. Yeah.
But it's also a love story as well.
Oh,
And
great.
it's very much I'd say a British Australian collaboration, because there's also a little bit of stuff shot in Scotland and England, which taps upon what he's come from. So it's a great heartwarming story, and a bit of the inspiration for it was kind of Crocodile Dundee, but that was a long time ago. It took a long time for it to write, and then it just flowed.
Oh, beautiful. So, most of us are in COVID. So I just wanted to know, did you write anything during COVID? Because a little known fact, Shakespeare wrote King Lear and Macbeth while quarantining from the plague. So I'm wondering, what have you been writing during?
Yes, that's an interesting fact. In fact, I did polish the Kettle King during COVID because I have a potential producer considering it and expressing some minor concerns. I also, after 20 years after writing it with a professional script editor, have done a rough first draft of a 4-part miniseries into a full-scale novel, which 60% is set in the first century. And I've also been working on a psychological thriller called Redemption River. And I'm actually going to do a little bit of kind of location scouting in what is the Riverland here this weekend. And also did some work on Trouble on Square Planet, which is one of my books, which I've written. And that's, I'll give you a feel of it. King Arthur, young child King Arthur, saves Square Planet from imminent.
Oh, we lost him a little bit from the thing, but he's talking about his children's book, Trouble on Square Planet, and it's a young child. And so we'll see if we get him back here. But Adrian is just, yeah, okay, Adrian, we lost a little bit. So I was just telling them that you were starting to talk about your children's book, Trouble on Square Planet, but you're back. So what was the funny thing that you were telling us? Because we lost connection, but we're back with you.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Give you its flavour. Child King Arthur saved Square Planet from imminent ecological annihilation and from the Batty Sciences and Conservationist Guild hell-bent on destroying the remaining forest.
I love it. I love it, yes. So where can they get that book, Trouble on Square Planet? Is that on Amazon right now?
No, I'm at the moment looking around for a publisher for it. In fact, I've got a lot of works that are sort of all ready for publishers and producers, and including one, I write from anything from children's books to psychological thrillers and feature form. In fact, one of my psychological thrillers, One Happy Family, it's called. The feedback I've been getting from the likes of Foxtel and the like is that it's really right on the zeitgeist, and that it could really make, according to one site, Stacey too, it well and truly could make a unique US TV series. It's one of the, in fact, a bit of feedback I got from it was from a former police detective, and they read the script and they came up to me and said, "You got it. I did not see it coming."
Oh, great.
I said, "But it was all there, wasn't it?" And they said, "Yes, every single detail. I just did not see it."
Oh,
and that's the type of feedback you want with a psychological thriller. And this is a twist after twist after twist, and it's all there in the script, and boom, right at the end, a massive reveal.
Ooh, and what was the name of that one?
It's called One Happy Family.
Ooh, One Happy Family. Twist, twist, twist. Well, Adrian, when you're not kayaking and camping and visiting grandkids, he's writing. And so if you want to keep up with Adrian, you can keep up with Adrian at his website, which is www.theworksofadriancrawford.com. So we've just so enjoyed having you on the show today, Adrian.
Thank you very much, and really appreciate you having me.
Yes, it was a delight.
All the best with your books, and it's great to be on something like this.
Yes, well, we just want to thank you, and thank you so much, film addicts and film lovers, for listening to the show. We wish you good health, stay safe out there, and cheers. Oh, Adrian, you forgot to tell me your favorite drink, because we always cheers and do a toast to our audience and our guests.
Take a while. Your favorite drink? I do like a Baileys. I haven't had one for a while, but Baileys is very nice.
Yeah. So what is your favorite pub out there in Australia before COVID that you enjoyed going to?
Oh.
So if we go there, we can find you at the pub.
There's a nice local pub called the Grey Inn, and it's a good pub to go to.
Oh, great. Well, it was a pleasure. And just thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening. We'll see you next week and stay healthy. And until then, cheers. Enjoy life.
Yes, enjoy life. Thank you very much.
Adrian is also an actor who is represented internationally, and you can check out some of his works at Adrian Crawford Creative.